Your fourth speaker, code 339. The title is Get Rhythm.
Hey, get rhythm. When you get the blues, come on, get rhythm. When you get the blues, get a rock and roll feeling in your bones, put taps on your toes and a get gone, get rhythm. When you get the blues. Hi. I'm J.J. Kapur. Just wanted to clarify that in case any of you were wondering, hey, how did Johnny Cash get here? Johnny Cash overcame countless obstacles on his road to success. Family tragedy, economic hardship, disco. Through it all, he maintained the attitude expressed in his seminal hit, Get Rhythm. Joy above all. Cash had discovered through a harrowing life that the rhythm of his music represented an attitude of being in tune with the world, of attenuating our troubles and amplifying our moments of bliss. But we struggle to find joy in our own lives. My concern is that we have become unplugged from joy. It's natural for the rhythm of our lives to feature lows as well as highs, but today it has become all trough and no peak. We need to commit to find the rhythm that Johnny Cash sang about, to live lives of joy, even in a world beset by troubles. First, we will see how our society looks down on joy. Next, we will examine how we are obsessed with darkness, before finally looking for some ways to remodulate our perspective and to find the rhythm of joy in our lives. Rhythm is both a metaphor for joy and an expression of it. Whether it was the tap shoes of Fred Astaire, Elvis Presley's blue suede shoes, or Michael Jackson's sparkling penny loafers. We've celebrated the joy that rhythm brings to our lives for generations. But that kind of unbounded joy has become passé. We are trapped in what philosopher Susan Hack calls the new cynicism, an outlook on the world where a dark, pessimistic approach to all things is taken as a badge of intellectual sophistication, and where happiness is a social and political faux pas. Consider Juan Humberto Young. Young was director of planning for a major food manufacturer until one day he was called into the office of his company's CEO to answer several behavioral complaints. His crime? Unwarranted happiness. Juan's fellow workers had reported him to management because, and this is true, he had been seen smiling and behaving cheerfully. That stinker. And believe it or not, this negative reaction to the happiness of others is endemic. Dr. Miley Steers, professor of psychology at the University of Houston, found that viewing positive social media posts induced feelings of depression in test subjects. We are healthier as a culture if, instead of being depressed, annoyed, or creeped out by the happiness of others, we can see it as a reason to be happy ourselves. Now, not everyone gets rhythm. Neuropsychologist Jessica Phillips Silver describes a condition called auditory arrhythmia. People with this condition are congenitally incapable of hearing a beat. This explains every chaperone at every middle school dance ever. We seem to be suffering from a form of cultural arrhythmia. Not only are we down on happiness, we are obsessed with darkness. We find the horrific hypnotic. The visceral thrill from observing something awful is like a hit of heroin to us. And sometimes, this predilection for darkness can be downright dangerous. In America, a traffic accident in one direction causes a backup in the opposite direction. We are a society of rubberneckers. Every time we pass an auto accident, our eyes are drawn uncontrollably to the carnage, like a Canadian to a Nickelback concert. But unlike Nickelback, rubbernecking is no joke. A study conducted by the University of Nevada found that fully 10% of all traffic accidents are actually caused by drivers who take their eyes off of the road to goggle at other accidents. And this tunnel vision for tragedy affects our worldview. Our insatiable appetite for awfulness can lead us to devalue the lives of others. In May of 2004, American engineer Nick Berg was kidnapped and beheaded by Al-Qaeda in Iraq. And an explicit video of the gory execution was posted by Reuters. On the surface, Americans reacted with outrage. But Nick Berg beheaded instantly became the most searched phrase on Google. 2 days later, the host website had to be taken down, not because they realized that broadcasting a gruesome murder for all to see was insensitive, but rather because the massive surge in traffic caused the site to crash. Listen, a fascination with the morbid and horrific is understandable. As humans, we are naturally curious about mortality. But in our attraction to the grotesque, we cannot dehumanize others to the point where their suffering becomes a form of entertainment. Now, my father likes to say that our family lives life according to IST, Indian Standard Time, meaning that whatever the schedule says, everything begins at least an hour late. So it was a surprise when, on December 11th, 1999, I was born. 6 weeks early. My father recounts the story of my birth with a kind of awe in his voice usually reserved for Yankees fans describing Babe Ruth. After 32 hours of excruciating labor, my mother threw herself headlong into the pain and wrenched every ounce of maternal will from her body. And I was born. But I was not breathing. Doctors rushed me to the neonatal intensive care unit while my parents waited and prayed. Spoiler alert! I made it. My father says that the moment I took my first breath was a moment of unspeakable joy. in my temple, our final prayer is always the same. Nanak nam, chardi kala, dere pani sabata pala. In the Sikh faith, chardi kala describes an unwavering belief in our ability to overcome the most daunting challenges. A commitment to the notion that our greatest joy can grow out of our greatest pain. I know. It can be hard sometimes to believe in the possibility of joy. We are living in a dark time. Violence against black and brown bodies is ascendant. School children have to learn lockdown drills before they learn how to read. Nazis, literal Nazis, are marching openly in our public squares. For those who are paying attention, it may seem as though our culture has descended into cacophony and chaos. We need to find a beat. A rhythm that will allow us to communicate, integrate, and celebrate the beautiful aspects of our lives. First, we must make a commitment to engage authentically with the world. Every life is a medley of emotional experiences, and we cannot let a fascination with darkness blind us to the light in our own lives and the lives of others. Our taste for the terrible must be tempered by empathy, humanity, and charity. Second, we need to gain some perspective. Life is a gift, and that's not just some aphorism. It's a mathematical fact. Dr. Ali Benazir created a mathematical model to determine the rough odds of circumstances aligning for any one person to come into existence. Turns out, the odds of you being alive at all, ever, are 1 in 10. Raised to the power of 2,640,000. The very fact that you get to open your eyes every morning is like winning the lottery 1,000 times in a row. In the face of that, we shouldn't view happiness as some anomaly. Those of us with the chance to move around on earth are so mind-bogglingly lucky. That joy should be our most basic emotion. I am here to tell you that what truly connects us need not be only our disappointments, our defeats, or our disasters. We can come to know one another through moments like this. Moments of joy. So, hi, I'm J.J. Kapur. Happy